What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm pumped to be back. I'm ready for this next week, although it is going to be probably a boring week. We know the theme for the year, for the stock market this year. If you're new to this, maybe you haven't caught on yet, each year there's like a theme. We've talked about, one year it was pot stocks, then EVs, next year, or like pot stocks, next year, EVs, next year, SPACs, and this year, it's definitely been Fed commentary, any kind of economic data like that. I don't know. We know we got the rate hike decision next week. So this week, and we're gonna look at the stock market expected moves. Again, this is where market makers have their risk dialed in. When we get outside of these parameters, you've seen it in my charts. We draw out these little lines. I have not turned the bot back on, but we've been inside. I guess we broke outside here. I had a bot. That's what all these numbers were for. So the weeks that you have it right here, I turned it off because I thought we were getting just really inefficient. And when you take losers on, this is like an iron condor bot. But if you see here, I'm collecting 31, 46, 21, anywhere from that range, and you get like, here's an $85 loss. Like the losers add up. It's not even the biggest one. 177. So I was going to turn that. One of the rules I had to turn that bot off was actually the VIX. The VIX did get below. I don't know if we're exactly an efficient market, but you saw us last week. And last week I physically talked about this could be a check mark week, where it drops down, hits that, pushes up, hits the top move. We did just that. And then the morning's economic news came out, right? Dropped it, came right back down. We closed it, still a nothing day. So we're going to draw these lines out right here. And why I say it's probably a boring week is we know we got the rate decision next week. Not a lot of huge news coming out this week. There's always some excuse for everyone that thinks that means no news. There's always some news. There's always got to be some excitement, or the ball would quit rolling. We got to keep the ball rolling. Got to keep that carrot or that dollar dangling in front of your face to the excuse for the world to keep spinning. So anyway, let's look at that. I saw them earlier, so I know the S&P is a little bit lower. It was like $6. And last week I thought it was low, and that was like 770, 774, 775 for the Qs. Anyway, let's just get into it. Let's pull them all up. Tesla. So these are the puts. So I actually did. So this is not my main account, by the way. This is actually the bot account. I don't like money just sitting there. So I did. I guess copy it. Why not? If I'm taking a trade in my main account and I have just money sitting there and I have the ability to, then yeah, I'm going to take it. So these are those puts that I bought that I mentioned to Tesla. I do have Tesla shares, which is why I sold this call. This is the 192, just to explain that. Again, I had the shares. I'm just not letting them go. In my main account, hopefully this isn't confusing. My main account, I have a lot of Tesla shares, and I don't think we're at the bottom yet. So with that one, I'm gonna let a couple get assigned just to lock that in. And then as Tesla drops, I'll buy the shares back. Hopefully, for every 100 that I let go, I get to buy like 120. Something cool like that to make the discount worth it. But this I probably am gonna close probably tomorrow. I don't even know what that's. It's like $40, $50, something stupid. But that was an airbag play again. So with the stuff going on in China, if we get the news that the Tesla factory shut down, I haven't heard anything about that going on. So I don't know if that's calming down or not. But in case we got the announcement that, hey, during all those riots, Tesla got shut down as well, I figured there would be a gap down. It'd be a pretty decent red candle. These are the 145 puts. I don't believe we are actually getting to 145 just off that news alone. Just decent red day. That's why I went out of the money, just to hopefully go cheap, double that up real quick. And all that would do is I would just be less red on the day, because as you can see here, my other Tesla positions would be down substantially. But so as far as hedging goes, I really actually hate hedging. It just makes you a loser regardless. Right? It's like, I'm going to buy this one. If that one loses, I'm going to buy this one. One of them is always going to lose, and then you're a loser. Just pick a direction. It's why you don't typically hear me talk a lot about hedging. I'm in it. I'm very aware of what I'm in and how different sectors move with each other. But I kind of just hate grabbing direct hedge plays like this versus something like maybe sell some calls in there. I feel a lot better with those. Because that's if you're new to options, Trust me, there's plenty of time for you to blow your account later. It's worth learning before you ever get in. When I'm in shares and I sell a call, that is a hedge, yes, but I'm going to... The only thing I'm going to do is leave money on the table. I'm going to make money or I'm going to make more money. Those are my two options should that exercise. You know, like, there's nothing with that. Like, I'm fine with either option. You know, I got to just buy back in. But, you know, I want that to go to zero. That goes to zero. I'm hedged. I still made money. This goes to zero. I just lost money. If that makes money, I lost money. I don't like hedges like that. They just suck. But in case we got that lightning strike, that's why that one's on there. But let's go over the expected moves. Tesla's expecting 1174. It's IWM. Little baby Russell. 374. They're pricing in nothing this week. QQQ 665. Wow. That is a little bit cheaper. And then SPY, yeah, 674. So this is definitely the quiet before the storm, because next week we're gonna rock and roll. If you do, again, there's a gap right here we're not seeing, which is why I watch these. We're up, we pull over, we're up again. I'm thinking the exact same move, and then we're gonna get the rate hike decision. Hopefully, get that little bit of a grind up, maybe even just up here. And then the morning of rate hike decision will actually pop up, tag that zone. Rate hikes will surprise everyone, and then send it down. It's kind of where I'm at. I will be short that decision. That's throwing darts, but that's just going to be what I'll be talking about later. So whether it's a win or a loss, you know, cross that bridge when we get there. Tesla 1174. Let me dial that back in. All right. Just hung out in that zone. Oh, anytime, this is why I talk about this. Anytime we push into a zone and base out, look for the continuation. Because that's, if you're not seeing that pushback, there's a reason. Just kind of like why I stayed bullish in the markets, why I talked about this next week being bullish as well. Because we pushed up. If we were overbought, people would have taken profits. People would have gone short. There's a lot of things people would have done if we were anywhere at what these perma bears are saying. Oh, economy's crap, depression, this and that. Like, sure. Cool story, bro. It's about where I'll leave that at. All right, S&P, little measly, 674. A little baby week. It'll be like that during Christmas. Like one of the slowest weeks out there. The Santa Claus rally. All right, 674. You see me get prepared for that? My mouse just jumped down like, where are we going? Nowhere. Yeah, I bet we're hanging tight the next week. Man, could we be bullish 2 weeks in a row? We're going to just be bullish all December? I can only imagine the YouTube thumbnails I'm going to see if we're bullish this week and next week. Santa Claus this, Santa Claus that. We're probably going to throw his wife in there somewhere. Maybe even get weird and add in a couple of reindeer. It's going to be a funny time. But we are coming up on that time where we're going to find out if it's going to be a soft landing or we're just going to crash and burn. I do think where we're sitting, so as far as the perma bears go, I'd love to tell you how bad the economy is and all that. You know, I actually agree with those guys. How that pertains to the stock market is a completely different conversation. But for us to avoid an actual, like, real recession or to just go hard like that, if they're going to do a soft landing, I bet we're going to have to see some kind of data just showing us we're jumping off a cliff. And then the feds are going to have to just knock that thing down to zero, like interest rates. We're going to have to start pulling back fast, I think. And I'm not an economist. It's why I really try not to talk about that stuff because those people, they do a lot more than I do. They're a little more qualified. But just my 2 cents on the matter. So if you think we're going to see something like that, we're going to have to get rolling as far as interest rates. We're going to knock those things down quick, fast, in a hurry. That looks good. That looks like we're just basing out for the next run. So some of the, double top. Gap down. I told you it's going to crash, and then just watched it. Man, can you imagine letting that green trade go red? You were short the market. because double top, whatever you thought. You woke up and you were just so green. You're like, yeah, trend line. You just watched it go back to break even, then back to red. That would suck. Anyway, I did post out another video talking about specifically this trend line drawing right here that a lot of people are talking about. I'm seeing it on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all the platforms with all of the gurus. And I would love to tell you just how brilliant those guys are. But I'm telling you that trend line probably going to get you in trouble. I at least put my opinion out there. It's the last video I did on Don Fran show. I did a shocked face. It wasn't my face in the thumbnail, but it does count as a shocked face. So I'm looking like the cool YouTubers. I'm going to be one of those guys one day. Might even make $1 off YouTube. Anyway, I'll wrap it up here. If you guys are watching this, you guys, this is Don Fran Trading. I do have Don Fran Show. I will be live after the football game. We're going to see how the futures open. Going to be negligible, willing to bet. And then we'll talk about this week a little bit more in there. The reason I do the live show, though, is so I can promote courses, links. Just kidding. It's just so I can talk to you guys. So you do have to be subscribed to jump in the live chat, but jump in the live chat so we can talk. I do like answering your questions. And I promise you I will turn and burn through the market real fast, and then we'll spend the last little bit answering questions. So if you're watching it as a recording, robot status in the beginning, chit-chat and the rest. So like, subscribe, all the cool stuff. Yes, I do have a course. That is the link in the description. Everything else. Just pretend I was one of those YouTubers that had like a fancy word, cool editing, head blew up, all the cool stuff. I'll see you guys in the next video.